Welcome to Warrior Class, where the teachers will pass and you will too if you pass. Amy Nikki will be joining us. She's right there. I already welcome them into Warrior Class. So,
Oh, welcome.
all right. This episode, we're going to be dealing with choosing the proper martial arts school or the best martial arts school for you and your loved ones. You're choosing a martial arts school or martial art class that does not suck.
Mm.
We get involved in it, and then we realize, uh-oh, this school is crap. Or worse, we don't realize it. We're in it for years, and then we run into somebody that really knows what they're doing, and now we get embarrassed. I had years ago, I was at this place teaching in Clayton County. Which is funny because now I'm living in Clayton County, but back then I would come down to Clayton County and teach at a place called Eclectics. And we had a workshop on how to use a knife, how to defend yourself with, and how to properly use a knife if you ever had to, defend yourself against and with a knife, right? And afterward, we're just talking, chilling out. Brother walks in. It was hilarious because he walked in and said, I just got my third degree black belt today. He was so proud. And third degree, fifth degree, something. I think it was third. And he was so proud of himself. And I said, well, what did you have to do to get your black belt? He said, well, we had to do all the techniques from white to black. And then on the fly, we had to create self-defense techniques against a knife. I said, on the fly, you just made up a technique against a knife. He said, well, yeah, I said, well, your techniques that you already know should have been appropriate. He said, yeah, but when a knife comes in, you have to move certain ways and do certain things, make certain adjustments. I said, if you have to think about making adjustments to what you're doing already to defend yourself against anything, you're at a deficit. But hey, I said, congratulations. Cool. At least you training to be safe out here. This one brother, he just couldn't let it go though. He said, man, we just learned the practicality of the knife, and I don't think you can just make up techniques. He said, I never picked up a knife except to cook with until today. But from what I learned, I don't think what you just making up stuff gonna work. You guys said, brother, of course it will. I can stop any knife at this point now. So the brother said, well, stop me. He said, we use these training knives, stop me. And I said, well, I tried to give the brother who came in face, the martial art, third degree black belt. I said, hey, my student, he's just overzealous and stuff, and I don't want him to get hurt. So now I just let it go. And I said, oh, I'm not going to get hurt. He might get hurt. I said, oh, Lord. Black belt said, well, come on. And if Nandi, she's in here sometimes, if Nandi's on here, she could bear me witness because she was one of the owners of Eclectics, right? And this person who did this happened to be a person very close to her at that time. So I said, well, okay, well, do it. So the brother, my student, got up there with the knife, and the guy, got in his karate position. And my student stepped in, thrust with the knife. The dude tried to block my student move and just cut the Jesus out the dude. Cut him, moved the knife around and started stabbing him. And this dude didn't know what to do. So he said, well, how in the world? He said, man, you must be a black belt or something. I said, well, we don't use belts, but he would be the equivalent of a white belt. This white belt wouldn't even have stains on it. And the guy said, what? I got to learn this. He goes out to his car, comes back. He said, how much is the class? I tell him how much the class is. He pays for 3 months. And he said, well, I see you go over the T-shirts. I want one of those T-shirts. I said, all right. He buys one of the T-shirts. He leaves out. Everybody's like, oh, he's a good brother. He'll be back. You know, I said, we'll never see him again. And what? We'll never see him again because he was just paying. That's the price he felt he had to pay for his embarrassment. But when he goes home, I can't give up. I've been doing this, I think he said 30 years.
Mm-hmm. That's that cognitive dissonance.
Right. I can't give it up. I've been doing this for 30 years. I just can't give it up. And I would have told him, you don't have to give it up. But we are going to give you what's practical. I don't care what you call your art. If it's not practical, it's not practical. If it's bullshit, it's bullshit. And so we're going to give you what's practical. And when you step in there into my class, my feelings for you as you step into class, that they prevent me from bullshitting you so you feel better about what you're doing. Now, students can argue with me all they want to. You know, a person comes in, they've been training and whatever for years, and they argue with me on safety. I know already you're arguing about what makes you safe, and you're stupid. Because if I go somewhere, somebody says, what you're doing is not safe, I'll give you something better. Believe me, I've been training for half a damn century. I will train with them to see if I can, at least train with them and see if I can use what they have. If it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. But I'm not going to sit up there and talk about, I've been training this long and no, it's not. This is not, can't work. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Because shit, they may know something that I don't. And a broken clock is right at least twice a day. Well, twice a day if it's broken, right? So it's going to be right twice a day. So there's no complete wrong in nothing. But I also am a person that has been trained all his life that the mat is the truth. So anything you say is right. This works. Let's put that on the mat and let's see.
Right.
I don't mind doing that at my age. I don't mind getting on the mat and proving what we do works, because it's been proven for thousands of years. Okay, so, you know, so when you go to a school, make sure you're paying attention. Comrade Kwame said Muay Thai also doesn't use a belt system, but the efficacy of it as a martial art is undoubtable. I would say that, you would say that, but some people may doubt it. So I can say it's undoubtable. I can't say it's undisputable. Well, I can. I know Thai boxers, real Thai boxers, who've been doing it since they were children. And I know the efficacy of it, Comrade Kwame. But you have some people from some arts that are so far off in their efficacy and effectiveness that they would swear Muay Thai, it's when it throws the kick, it's use of the hip and everything, it's too much and it'll be too slow for self-defense. And I'm not making, I've heard people say these things. And once again, back home, we would always go to the mat. My martial arts school was next door to one of my martial arts schools was next door to this, what people in the East would call bodega. We call it corner store, but bodega, right? And it was bigger than what a regular corner store would be. But the owner would always come outside. I would go outside, get some air. I had to school with a brother named Stan McKinney. And so he would teach his class and stuff. I would be there with him. I'd come outside, get me some breath of air. The brother would come from next door, Thai brother who owned the place, heavy smoke out. Man, come on, man, get that cigarette out of here. That's how we met. Like, man, come on, man. God damn. And he's like, man, I like to smoke, man. And I'm like, okay, I don't.
Right.
Get away from me. So, and then we just started throwing insults back with jokey insults, right? So that's how we knew each other. But anyway, we got cool, and he ended up telling me how, he Thai boxed, so we work on some stuff outside and everything. And you had people always coming by our school, and they would be talking stuff or whatever. And he was seeing when they would come into the school, and he recognized, he knew like all the martial artists for whatever reason. He would come in there, and he was like, man, this dude will kick your ass, man. Talking about me kicking down. I said, hey. He said, yeah, he will. He said, I get to the mat with you. And him in his jeans and t-shirt, he'd be getting on the mats with dude and tearing their asses up. His smoking, wearing jeans and t-shirt, little behind, would be putting it on dudes. And he's like, this dude can beat me, man. So you can't do nothing with him, man. That kept me from having to spar with a lot of cats. And people would hear about me. I don't even know how they would hear. Like when down here, when we first opened the school on McDaniel Street, me and Akinbobla in there just by ourselves. Because people will test you, and I'm serious, y'all. For those out there who know me and those who don't, we believe the matter's the truth. So you can come on down if that's what you want to do. I'm not challenging nobody. I'm just saying this is what we do. I'm not running from challenges, though. Just keep it martial arts, because if you go beyond that and just know your martial art, what you call rules, we may go a little bit beyond that, or you may go beyond what we call rules. I'm cool. It's just you want to keep it just here, because I can go further. My students can go further. You don't want it to go there, right? But anyway, me and Akinbobla training. We only two people in the school, which is odd, but me and him were just there, so we just working. Dude walks in, sitting there. Akinbobla, me and him just training. So I'll be with you in a minute, brother. And I throw Akinbobla, boom, right, hard throw. I see the brother who's sitting watching jump, looks like, oh my God. Akinbobla gets up, he stands up, gets ready to leave. I said, bro, hold on, bro, what's wrong? He said, man, look, I've flown all the way from California. People saying certain things, saying, you good. Some other people saying they doubt you as good as other folks saying you are. I came to see. He said, but y'all doing this, this is a little too much for me.
One hard throw?
A hip throw. It was just a hip throw. It wasn't a wheel throw or something like that. It was just a hip throw. I said, okay, brother. I said, well, tell all your folks in California, we're here. We're here. And they are welcome to come. And if too much talking continues and I hear about it, I'll come out there. He's like, okay, yeah, yes, sir. And left. I said, this is crazy shit. Right? But it also let me know wherever he trains, one, if you're going to fly away to California, you ain't talk to me or nothing like that, you're an asshole. You were coming to get hurt because you ain't talk to me or nothing. But also, your school sucks. This is what we're talking about, schools that suck. Because if you think a hip throw is just devastating, and because my student knows how to fall and can take the hip throw and get back up, what, he's supposed to be crippled after that or something? Your school sucks. Speaking about 90, He collected. We went to this thing at night. Some event. And they had these folks talking, and her and her husband at the time, Derek, were talking about survival, and they had me dealing with martial arts. So Derek said, you should do, on the ground, up and over skate. I said, no, I know what I'm gonna do with them, because dude was talking all arrogant who invited us. So he calls me up, puts his hand on my shoulder, patting me like he's sunning me or something, and he says, I know he's about to. He said, this is a martial artist. Now we train, but we're gonna listen to what our brother has to say. Pat me on the back. We'll listen to what he has to say, and then we have to dismantle it. We'll dismantle it, but we'll listen to what he has to say. I said, okay, well, cool. I said, I want to show, against a wrist lock, simple wrist lock that I would put on a child. Okay. I grab him. I said, and I'm gonna put my hand out. You can punch. I'm dealing with the focus. We did with Ashe. It's guided by intent. If your intention is to heal your body, it is not to punch me in my face. And I said, a human being will do more to escape pain than to gain pleasure. Okay. So those are two basic things that we deal with, the mindset of a person and how we defeat a person before we even put our hands on them, because we recognize that. I said, so I'm going to put my hand out here. I said, you can pretend it's my face, and you can just punch the hell out of it. So he says, what he's going to try to do is to lock, but he doesn't realize that we've been doing this so much, we're pretty much immune to the lock. And so it's not going to work against me, but, our brother will see in just a moment. I said, you know what? I'm going to put my hand down. You can punch me in my face. He said, brother, you don't want. I said, I do want you to punch me in my face. I said, don't kill me now. Don't kill me now. Just punch me. So he said, all right, brother. He puts up his fist. I said, I'm about to put on a lock. You ready? He said, yeah. Bring his fist back. Put the lock on him. Ow! I can't do it. You would do it better than me, because you're a woman. He sounded just like a woman. Ow! And I said, yes, dude. I said, well, where's the punch at? Where's the punch? I got him locked. Where's the punch? Oh, please let me go. I said, I can't hear that. You have to tap. Tap saying you submitted. Once you do that, I'll let you go. Yeah, I said, I'm not. I said, oh, And then I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, it's all right, brother. You can have a seat. Man, get out of here. Man, this is foolishness. I sat down next to him. We were sitting up like on this panel. I sat down next to him after that. Let me sit down so he can just feel uncomfortable this whole time and know that this man next to him punked him in front of his people. Of course, I never got invited back to that one. Probably not there either, but I don't even remember who these folks were. First of all, when I walk into a place and this one brother and it was all these white folks, that was strange to me. White folks, that brother is a showpiece. He's their token Negro, but somehow I guess he became their leader. Or maybe he figured, he could, because some brothers do that. They can be cool in front of, they may have been some chumps around the rest of us, but around white folks, they cool, because white folks want to get a piece of, how cool he is.
Right.
And so this fool, the same thing happened with us, and I moved when me and Milton Davis first got into we created steampunk, really. Us, Valjean Jeffers, may she rest in power. We are the creators of really that genre. But when we got into the steampunk arena, me and Milton were putting in work, writing books, novels, things. I wrote the first steampunk novel, Chronicles of Harriet Tubman, right? We're putting in work, defining the genre. This one brother who was in steampunk was just in there because he was a brother, walking around with cowboy outfits on and shit. I wasn't wearing no cowboy outfits and all that kind of. I wasn't doing all that shit. I'm writing. I'm creating the genre. I'm not. And so he's just, walking around with his cowboy suits and looking cute and ain't even cute. Wearing a what do you call it? Corset for men, morset and all that foolishness.
Whoa.
And but he thought that was cool. Wear a leather morset, cowboy hat, cowboy boots, a little toy, little pew pew pew, little toy pistol. I got real pistols. You got a toy pistol, all this shit. So he was angry with me and Milton because he was no longer the Negro in the thing. He couldn't just get off from just being a Negro. Now you gotta be a Negro that does something.
Right.
And he couldn't do nothing. It was sad. He hated us.
That's a shame.
Because he couldn't do nothing. Now, the black folks who actually could do things, could build things and stuff like that, it was just a few. We ended up finding all the black folks in there, and, we became cool, except him, because he wasn't building nothing. He couldn't build, he couldn't do nothing except
being cute.
Be cute, and play cowboys and I won't say Indians because that is crazy as hell, but I don't know what just play cowboy, Negro cowboy, and that wasn't enough no more. So you have those kind of people. They always hate me. Oh boy, they hate me because I'm actually a black person that can do some things, right? So they can't stand me. They wouldn't be able to stand you. They wouldn't be able to stand Belay. They wouldn't be able to stand none of the folks we know. Nobody on Black Power Media because we do too much. But you'll find that throughout the arenas that we deal with. Yeah, people that ain't doing shit. They just been getting along because they the one black, whatever it is.
Right.
That's not enough. You got to be able to do something of value, hopefully for your people. Do something of value. Right. Otherwise, that cute shit go away. It's the clean glass against the dirty glass.
Or the tough guy or whatever the black stereotype they're feeding into to edify these people that they're with. Whatever they're delving into goes away quickly.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Freddie Prince said women don't sound like that, but I was like, ew. No, women don't sound
that is Baba's regular impression of
yes.
a punk / I guess female or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, one time when I was talking about that same story, we had this a sister Ogun Lewa. Her daughter her daughter at the time I think was about 11, and I said, "Scream for me," and she screamed. I said, "That's what he sounded like." I can't do that, but that's what he sounded like that little 11-year-old girl screaming. Okay, always envision him. If I accidentally stepped on a squirrel's foot, that's what it was sounding. He sounded like that. Yeah,
Baba.
I'm serious. Nandi, if you're out there, please speak up so they'll know I'm telling the truth. The truth. I wish I had those days.
Squirrel feet.
Yep, like on a squirrel's foot. All right, so
my goodness.
We're gonna get down to the martial arts schools. I said all that to say that you have people, posing out here, and somehow, for some reason, posers won't just keep their mouth shut. I guess because they don't want people to know they posing, so they got to speak up and be all boisterous about.
It's right. It's something about the nature of being a poser in the first place that makes you predisposed to, I guess it's insecurity, you
right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they hoping you a poser, so they can clown you.
Right.
And
just
then
sound a certain way.
If they successfully clown you.
Right.
And I've always wondered, does it ever work for them? I don't know. I guess.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Other poser come around and then they expose that poser. When I was in the military, same thing. This dude hated my guts. When I went to Defense Language Institute, most of our language schools were also at Fort Bragg, but for this particular language, I had to go to Defense Language Institute, and which is in Monterey, California. We pull in, me and this other brother, and this dude got a big X sweater on. And so we talked to him and everything, and we're leaving out to get some food. He said, "Hey, man, when y'all come back, we got to talk more about this, the X." Now, on the Presidio of Monterey, which is where we were at, okay? He was the man at Defense Language Institute with black folks, teaching them. Because a lot of them folks in the military, they didn't know nothing. So you got to talk about this X. When I come back and say, what does that X mean? It means you down for the cause. I say, actually, the X means unknown. It comes from the Nation of Islam. And the members would be designated with an X until they earned their name, because it said your slave name is not your name, so your real name is unknown. That's where that comes from.
A variable.
And so, right, the X is the variable unknown. I said it's in mathematics. That's where it comes from. So, and I said in the Nation of Islam is big on mathematics. They say you are mathematics, and mathematics is you. Really? They're asking me more questions. I'm talking to them. They're not even listening to him no more. He hated my guts after that. Hated me more because we call it rocking out, which is you failed in the school. He rocked out. And as he was leaving, because he didn't like me, I said, so you took Russian for granted? He was taking Russian. I said, you took Russian for granted? And you rocked out. And everybody was laughing, right? And he, F you, he drives off.
Oh, wow.
Hated my, probably hates me to this day. I hope he's watching the show. Because he probably posing with them about the whole thing. But
yeah, he got all your books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was throwing darts at it. Bastard, or didn't know it was me. All the books. So Yapo says posers know their posers. They live life on guard 27/7. Damn, you're on a different planet, ain't you? 27/7. 27 hours a day. Damn, no, 24/7. Knowing that at any time, they can be exposed. That's a hell of a way to live. They live in a house of cards and the breeze is always blowing. I never thought about that way. That has to be an uncomfortable ass way to live.
Right.
Damn. Jacqueline L. smeared Assange and called him a Russian agent. I don't know who Jacqueline L. This person propaganda live talking about Judo and Assange. Kim Brown's a joke. Oh, get your ass out of here, propaganda live. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're talking about my comrade now. Kim Brown black people as Trump fans who didn't want the mandate. Get out of here. Get out of here, propaganda. Get out of here, propaganda. All right. You don't know propaganda live. You don't know what you're talking about. Propaganda live is trying to disrupt. Go back and look at the clips of Kim Brown promoting Joe Biden. Oh, boy. All right, propaganda live. Well, if she is a joke, then deal with that on her show. But right now, we're not insulting my comrade. I'm trying not to go there with you right now. We gotta show. let me see if I can get rid of this person. For our friends on Facebook, we have this person propaganda live. Last time, let me see, put user. Okay. Last time I tried to block, I blocked the person for me, but didn't block for everybody. So I'm not sure how that works. He lying like a mug. We ain't got to go back. All right. 27-7 putting in work. All right. Well, hell, everybody saying 27-7. Let's do it. 27-7. So we've changed the time now. This is how we do. So 20.
It's not real. It's okay.
Time not right. Interrupted us on a panel one time. Say, hey, brother, he's talking about some other stuff. And I said, excuse me, brother. I'm not even the moderator. The moderator, who happened to be our comrade, Kalanji, didn't want to say nothing to the dude, right? He knew that. So I said, excuse me, brother, go ahead on, man. Go ahead on. Your panel's next. Go ahead on, man. With all that. He said, well, time isn't real anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. I said, well, man, on this fake time, I'm eating lunch in 30 minutes. Fake time. So go ahead on, man. Go ahead. Fakely go ahead on then. Hey, get out of here. Anyway, and student of mine said, we're on 10, 15 time, some shit, other than 20, 60 time. I don't know what all that is. I'm just a simple dude. I don't know all that. But I said, look, hey, man, look, if everybody's moving on this time, though, you don't want to move out of time with them.
Right. That's the point, the agreement among everyone.
Right. Yeah. Because we're talking about martial arts, and martial arts is all about timing. If my timing, I say, well, I'm in 10, 15 time anyway. And the other person is doing, I'm getting my ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever time they're in is what time I got to be on, and my time has to be, actually my timing within that time has to be on point. Okay.
Goodbye.
So I'm not sneaking, getting to, I don't allow myself to spook out on certain things. People, the earth is flat. All I know is in sniper school, mathematics teaches us how to shoot with the curve of the earth. And I'm one of the best shooters you'll run into. So that mathematic formula with the curve of the earth ain't failed me. So I don't know, if the earth flat, that formula that they lied to me about, it works somehow. That's all I'll say on that. All right.
And Baba, also, it reminds me of a story that you tell about one of the students who basically went into someone else's class and they were trying to do a demonstration or something like that, but they allowed the art that they were there to, challenge to affect their timing. Instead of them going by their training, they went by the timing of the people who were, they were trying to Jenga or whatever they were trying to do. And they ended up being unsuccessful because they allowed the other people to dictate the timing for them. They didn't go by what they knew.
Right. Exactly. That's the same person that told me time is 10, 20, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, same person. Amazing. Didn't respect time. Got that ass whoop.
Right.
All right. And now I doubt he's watching me. Maybe he lives in Rwanda now.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think they're on the regular times. I don't know how he's living there. How things are going for him there. He go across the equator and he can live, on the
right.
Don't work that way, brother. Don't work that way. All right. Said Mo Man, they're on their CIA lunch hour. Y'all had to try to block that one too. Mo Man. And yes, Freddie Prince, they probably are. CIA probably at lunch right about, you say it's 1:34 on the CIA time. It may be 1:24. I don't know. It may be 10, 15 time. All right.
Right.
So we're about to get to it. So get yourselves ready. This is how you can wisely choose where you were trained from. From what I remember, Ken Brown's. Here's another one who didn't want to get with COVID vax. Come on, y'all. Please stop, y'all. Come on, please with the Ken Brown attacks. Stop.
Why are you here talking about something that is not on topic for what we're talking about? This is not a show about vaccines, and you're talking about a different host. Clearly you just want attention.
I think Franny Prince may be onto something. Maybe that lunchtime.
Right.
And some more. Let's see.
Yeah, they got plenty of time to try to infiltrate people's groups. They don't have to do that during lunch. That's their whole job.
Yeah, no, I guess it's just their day. This must be the holiday, attacking the warrior class day. They got us on the calendar somewhere.
Right. Their
August
vacation.
By the way, it's Black August. So what do we say in Black August? Anybody remember?
Oops, I apologize. I can't assist. I don't have another screen.
Anybody remember? I said it last week, I believe. Somebody in the chat, long live the dragon is the answer back to what we say. But before that, we say Black August resistance, and it's long live the dragon is the answer. So everybody's Black August resistance, long live the dragon. As this had to give our Black August lesson. And so CIA, y'all can go back. And this is the month of Black August resistance. That's why they're showing up. Long live the dragon. The dragon is who? Who is the dragon? I have to do this quick lesson on that. Who is the dragon? Anybody in the chat know? The dragon is George Jackson. Yes. Nwadi got it. Nwadi, a.k.a. Obi. The dragon is George Jackson. They called him the dragon. He actually created his own martial art. And from what I understand, it was effective. And he taught people. Now, usually people create their own martial art be garbage. But George Jackson obviously was the son of Ogun and was channeling that type of energy. Okay. Nwadi, a.k.a. Obi, said, who got it from Ho Chi Minh, I think. May have. That would make sense because dragons are sacred to the Chinese. So that would make sense. Okay. I think they call Bruce Lee the little dragon, something like that. All right. And in Africa, they have a dragon-like being too, called Mokele, I believe it's Mokele Mbembe. Okay. So, Moman said he's a homeboy too, Balgoon. Who's a homeboy? Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee's a homeboy? Bruce Lee was from Hong Kong and then lived in Seattle, I think. If you're from Seattle, I guess. Yeah. Homeboy. All right. So, Omanika, can you start us off? Choosing a martial art class that doesn't suck.
Okay. Yes. So while your child may want to learn martial arts because they saw Blood and Bone or a Batman movie or Blade, there are several practical reasons for taking martial arts, and those include improving self-discipline and focus, self-defense, of course, exercise and physical conditioning, boosting social skills, which can include, building their confidence, and dealing with fear, which is something that we spoke about last week on the show. And also teamwork is an aspect of martial arts training. So martial arts class will help your child meet these goals, but you will need to select a style of martial art for them to train and practice.
All right, so martial arts styles. And there are hundreds of martial arts styles, martial arts systems, okay, and tens of thousands of martial arts styles around the world. So there are hundreds of martial arts systems, tens of thousands of martial arts styles, maybe even more than that. The difference. So a martial arts system is the systematized way of protecting yourself, your family, your community. Okay? So if you take, let's use this capoeira. Capoeira is a system. Okay, in the system you're going to have a systematized way. They have a way of doing things. Okay, styles are particular ways within that system. There's probably more than tens of thousands because each person should have their own particular style. But some people become so known, they begin to teach their styles. Other people seek them out to teach their style. So within capoeira, you have capoeira Angola, you have capoeira regional, capoeira contemporânea. Capoeira Angola, that is Maestre Pastina's style. And so people liked his style. They studied with Maestre Pastina. If people are saying, well, Capoeira Angola is the way, you're the wrong way. Because that's not true. That's Pastina's way of doing Capoeira Angola. Pastina had to learn from somebody. They wasn't calling it Capoeira Angola. Okay. That's his way. Then you have Capoeira Regional, which is Maestre Bimba's way of doing capoeira. You have Capoeira Contemporânea. I'm not sure who founded that. I wanted to say Nestor Capoeira. That's they all have nicknames. I think his name is Nestor Capoeira. So there are different ways of doing capoeira, different styles within the system of capoeira. Well, karate. In karate, that's a system. People say, I do karate. It's karate. And karate, you don't just do karate. That's the system. And within that, there are styles. Maybe somebody just doing the original system. I don't know. But you have the styles. You got Goju-ryu karate, Shorei-ryu karate, Shinto-ryu karate, Shotokan karate. You got a whole lot of styles. Style by Kat Yamaguchi. All the different. So you got different styles. Okay. System, style. The way we learn the system of Lamba, Kilimanjaro. These are systems. Lamba, Kilimanjaro, Gidibo. And within that, really is the stylistic way that my father and I teach it. So there is U.S. military additions to it. not so much technically, but the mental aspect part. Okay. So anybody doing martial arts say they, they're just doing the system. Not really. It's a style. When the way I teach is not the same way my student Akinwobala teaches. But when he opens a school of his own, that's going to be his style. They'll be close. Even in the 15 strikes we have, I don't teach in the same order as my father taught to take the 15 strikes. He taught them more classically the way he learned. I taught them in the way that I think it flows better. So, we try to be more closer to the system of what we have learned, the systems of what we've learned, but even combining them, that makes us have a style. The idea of combining the African arts we learn, by the way, is to prove that they all go together. Because when people say, well, you all talk about with Africans, you got Yoruba, you got Igbo, you got Mandinka, you got so-and-so, Tutu, but yeah, with us, we're not like we're not like Europeans or Asians who have vast differences depending on where they're from. We have some differences, and we have a lot of things alike. A lot. Ancestral worship and different things. Even when we practice Christianity and Islam in Africa, there's still reverence for ancestors and different things that are there throughout the continent. There's reverence and deference to elders. There's things that we have that are different from other places, but you can identify it as that's African. That's an African way. Okay. Even when we're across the continent, we're here. There are certain things we do that are part of the African DNA.
Yeah, boom.
And maybe Europeans have it too. I don't know. I'm not European, so I don't know. And I'm not around Europeans like that, so I don't know. Perhaps they have certain things that they all do. Now, I ain't being funny, not like, they all conquer, colonize. I'm not talking about that.
Destroy.
Right. I'm talking about what you do, what you all do that identifies beside, that.
Right.
Because you could say that's a European way. I don't know. Or that's an Asian way. Because Asia, that's pretty big. When you're talking about mainland Asia, then you're talking about Southeast Asia. Right? Africa as a continent is pretty big, but there's certain things. So we talk about African martial arts.
Right.
I can bring it. So we brought in Big Pato from Senegal. I could bring in somebody from the other side of the continent, from Ethiopia, and you're still going to see the principles are still similar, even though the techniques may be very different. The principles would be the same. So that's just the way it is. South Africa. My father sent me these videos. South African martial artists. I'm looking at the videos like, boy, the principles, oh my goodness. The same. And the way they treat certain people who come in, the same. Okay, so that's the truth. You look up my work on Coach Red Pill and how I teach martial arts. Gonzalo Lira. All right, Gonzalo. I have many Coach Red Pill videos, but my Pinochet videos are the best. I love Pinochet, but he passed away. Rest in peace. Pinochet made the global South free. Somebody else said he's a troll too. Don't tell me there's another troll. Oh my goodness.
Having an outbreak lately.
I know. The trolls is like monkeypox. Troll pox up in there. But anyway,
well, I was gonna say something similar to what you're saying, but it reminds me of there's like this certain style of pant that I think looks terrible on black men. Like, especially if they have classical, very strong features to their body that you tend to only see in African men. Mm-hmm. This style of pant looks terrible on them. And it's like, you know, we live here, we grow up here, you know, we put on things that are presented to us here, you know, that you buy in stores here, but it doesn't look good on us. You know, it's not for us really.
Talking about cool,
but no. I don't want to say it because there might be some men who like those, but you know, that's what I think about when I think about us learning African martial arts, indigenous African martial arts, as opposed to learning an Asian art. Not only are you getting their philosophy and you know, other things that aren't necessarily for you, you get that as a part of dealing with their martial art. You develop a reverence for certain things as a part of dealing with their martial art, which is why, you know, another reason why it's so important that we be seeking out our own martial arts. Even with Sabu, you know, our back fall.
Falls and roses, Sabu, by the way.
Right. But the back fall in particular, you're falling on your butt. You know what I'm saying? That and then not all black people have, you know, big hind parts, but that is a dominant feature. And it's like, you know, you're learning to fall back on that, you know, in a way, because one of the main things about that is because you have something there, you know, to fall back on. I don't know. That's just what I think as far as us learning indigenous African martial arts. It's something that's going to be natural to us. There are going to be things in indigenous African martial arts that are way more natural to us. So, you know, we think about choosing styles, but it's not just, oh, I like that. You know, you think about really where you come from, where your people come from, and try to go along with that.
You know, that's been the hardest part, actually. When people argue, and a lot of times they don't know it, is because they're thinking with a different mindset. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard to not just argue them, because I really am not into arguing the point of training with me or anybody that trains in indigenous African martial arts. It's just even the discussion becomes difficult because they feel they have to defend. But right. Let me go on and say what you were saying. We, of course, recommend you and your child studies in indigenous African martial arts for all the reasons that Ominiki said. But we know finding such a class isn't easy, because I know of only 3 people in the United States that I would recommend for indigenous African martial arts. Outside of just my students, I'm talking about the heads of the schools, 3. I'm one of them. That means 2 more. Okay. Now, if we include diasporan martial arts in that, then we can go further. But, you know, I'm not sure. Like, I know Denzel Caldwell is on here sometimes. I think Denzel lives, if you're out there, Denzel, let me know. I think he lives in the Caribbean, but teaches Kalinda, great martial art, stick martial art. Okay. And just so you know, if you learn the stick, it teaches you to be quicker with your hands, because somebody swinging at you with a stick and with your feet. Somebody swinging you with a stick, you're going to move quick to get out of the way. Okay. And just using that, it teaches you to have quicker reflexes, strike quicker. Mm-hmm. You become stronger because you got the weight in your hand, just so you know. But as far as the indigenous people, in Austin, Texas, you have Demond Stiff. I'm just using the United States, y'all. I know Canada, you have Adam Myrie, who is in Hama, Historical African Martial Arts Association with Demond Stipp. Demond Stipp is the head of Hama, I believe. In South Carolina, you have Mama G. I can go further and say also part of Hama in Philly. The brother's name is escaping me right now. He's in Hama as well. Osa Nkante. Okay. It's not many of us out there. And you have a couple who were teaching who transitioned within the past 2 years. Or transition, 3 or 4 transitioned in the past 2-3 years. Kalindi transition. He used to travel to and take people to the Gambia and I think Mali a couple times a year to train. He transitioned. My plan is starting next year to start taking people to Senegal to train. That's my plan for next year. So CIA, don't get in my way. Don't get in my way. You can keep coming on here. Don't get in my way when I'm doing that, please. Just leave me alone or follow me when I get there. Don't block what I'm trying to do. All right. Hopefully we're not shut down by monkeypox. I'll be doing that. So, since it's hard to find here in the United States, I would recommend 52 blocks or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for you and your child if you can't get with us. And I would also recommend you take Pinchot Salat or a Screamer. Now, 52 blocks or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, if you just have an aversion to learning tools, which I would always say don't have an aversion to learning tools because we learn tools. Anything that's dealing with combat should or supplement with learning tools. I would also say Judo, but Judo and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu are very competitive heavy. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu practitioner told me if you ever want to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, you got to go to tournaments. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, damn, well, the person just don't like competing in tournaments. Competition causes anxiety. Say, well, how can they defend themselves? Defending yourself ain't got shit to do with competition, other than competing to stay alive and to kill the other cat. You know what I mean? So you don't have to compete in a tournament to get to learn to defend yourself effectively and have a combat mindset. In fact, I used to take students to tournaments to get disqualified because I knew we'd get disqualified. I told them that beforehand. Just do the techniques like I taught you. You're going to get disqualified, but just know what you do works. Some of us damn, Baba, we just messed up some folks. We weren't crippling people and nothing like that. But choking them out, making them tap, knocking them out, hitting hard. I was in a tournament one time. This dude is trying to pump me behind me. He's hitting first he was being real friendly with talking, then he's hitting the mat behind me. I looked and said, what's going on? He's punching the mat, looking at me mean. I said, oh, okay, I got you. So we stand up, and the referee, who's a friend of mine, says, fight. Boom! I hit that dude so hard. And he said, oh, don't hit that hard. Don't hit that hard. This fool shouldn't be up here with me. And so I said, all right. And he says, my government, he said, Adam, come on, man. Take it easy on. I said, he's beating that mat like he's going to beat my head in. He said, well, just go ahead, take him out, but not that bad, Maybe look good as a referee. I'm protecting the person. I said, okay, I ain't gonna hurt him too bad. I'll whoop that boy's ass. whooped his ass. I didn't get disqualified though. I kept within the thing because I was like, I want to go home with it. I came all the way up to New York. I want this trophy. And I left and medals. So I left with the medals. I left with the grand championship trophy, and I'm cool. Okay. Took my student, same thing, you know. They tried, you fight against, first person I had to fight against was my student. I said, well, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to let you get me. I'm going to take the gold medal for self-defense. You take the gold medal for fighting. I said, if you take a silver, I'm going to beat your ass because I'm about to lose to you on purpose. We going to put on a show. We put on a show. We doing stuff. It looked like John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
It was just ridiculous to the point. First people clapping, and then they started laughing because they knew we just acting the fool. And then the last round, I let him get, you know, he knocks me down, chokes me, boom, I tap, boom. Then I go on to self-defense and get the gold in that. None of that, if we had completely lost, would mean we couldn't defend ourselves on the street. So I don't worry too much about the competitive. That's why I didn't list judo, but I love judo. I love me some judo. Because that's one of the few arts where they go full intensity without killing the person. That's why grappling became so. His wrestling is so what you call wrestling. Wrestling for the African means to put you on your back the other side by any means, so that I can use an arrow, I can use a sword, pistol, whatever. If you fall, I wrestle, right? But wrestling, grappling, throwing, that became popular. That's the most popular sport in Africa, and then soccer, what they call football. Okay, because in West Africa, the soldiers could do that at full intensity without killing their training partner. We can work with padded tools and everything. They still hurt. Getting thrown, if you know how to fall properly, it doesn't hurt that bad. It doesn't hurt at all for me or people who are well trained in Cebu, which is falls and rolls, right? But so that's the safest thing you can. That's why judo, I love it. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is cool for the same reasons. But Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, most fights end up on the ground, and that's why I recommended it, because that's where they live. They live on the ground. You say, "Well, I ain't gonna get knocked down." Yes, yeah, you may not get knocked down. You end up tripping, anything. Most fights go to the ground. You know, you can say what you want, but that's the truth of it. And I recommend 52 blocks because for the rhythm and learning how to strike, fists, elbows, the angling of it, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And that can be, if the proper teacher can teach you how to use that defensively for the street. So if you can't get indigenous African martial arts, 52 blocks is about the closest you're going to get. You know, some of them argue it's not African. That's because they don't know African martial arts. It's as close as I've seen as far as how they move. Even though they'll say they come from the street of the United States and then got further development within the prisons. Where does it come from? I was on a bus stop working with a knife, training one of my students. Guy walks up. Can I see the knife? Can I, do a little work with you? I'm working with him. We traveling, we moving. He said, "Man, what were you locked up?" I said, "I wasn't." At the time, I hadn't been locked up. I said, "I've never been locked up." He said, "Damn, well, how are you moving like this?" I said, "This is indigenous African martial arts." He started crying. Man, I learned this in prison. Thought this was just something that, we do. They didn't call it 52 blocks down here. They call it auto. He said, I thought, just something that people locked up do. He said, but you telling me this is from back home? I said, this is what your ancestors have long done. And we're both crying on the bus stop, crying. He said, well, I want to give you this. The way circles work. I may have talked about it before. He said, yeah, I want to give you this. He said, CDs. He said, this is the best thing I can give you. First CD I ever got from Dead Prez. A Dead Prez CD is what he gave me. 2 years after that, Stickman from Dead Prez was training with me. These circles are incredible. So for him, he was doing auto, which is just like 52 blocks. And the reason why down here in Georgia, they're doing something like up in New York, is because it all comes from home.
Right.
And it's in us. That's how they were doing. Right. So 52 blocks is more African than you would realize. And those who do 52 blocks who don't know that will say, it was made by, you just don't know. That's all. But yes, it comes from. And any 52 blocks person who train with me be like, damn, this 52 block. No, it's not. It's not. When people come from other continents and train, oh, this so-and-so. Yeah. And they know, we get together. Oh, you can do this. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. So you can. We also recommend Pensai Salat or a screamer. One day I'll talk about the history of a screamer and Pensai Salat and its connection to Africa. A screamer, which is Filipino, Pensai Salat is Indonesian. A screamer, they also call moro. You all could probably hear more in there. You used to call black people more, whack-a-mole, right? I can show you more footwork in the video. Maybe I'll post that right before one of the classes, right? And we'll discuss it. And you can see. All right. You say, damn, is he doing some type of capoeira or something? No. It's also important to understand the goals and values of schools you're looking at. So not just technically, you got to know the goals and values. Ideally, they teach the same values you teach at home. Ideally, they teach the same values you teach at home. If you are strong, vegetarian, vegan, one or the other, or both, or in your house. But that instructor, after every test, they go and eat pork dumplings at Chinese restaurant. You may want to consider not going to that school. I had friends, after every test, they would go to this restaurant. His school would go to this sushi bar, even though it was a Chinese martial arts school. They went to the sushi bar, and in there, it wasn't just a sushi bar, it was an alcohol bar too. So the sushi would travel around on this water, like this moat, and you would grab your stuff. And then on the second tier moat, it would be alcohol. Well, if you're against drinking alcohol, you don't want your children in that kind of environment, but you don't want yourself, don't do it. You have to know those things, so it may be something you don't want to do. Or you may say, shit, that's the school I want, but I try to get sauce after class. Hey, then, that may be the place for you. With us, it may not be. Some of us get sauce, some of us don't. I'm not one to get sauce like that. I drink the hell out of some matcha tea. So, hey, if you're against matcha tea, you may not want to train with me because I drink the hell out of matcha. All right.
Excuse me, y'all.
It's cool. It's on you.
So when should children start martial arts? Some martial arts schools teach children as young as 4, but we consider 6 to be a good age to start learning. At age 6, a child's balance and coordination are better, so they can learn the proper techniques for punching, kicking, getting up from a fall, and throwing safely. One thing that I have thought about a lot with these particular lessons, as far as how to choose a school, and it might be something we talk about a little bit later, but just we think about in this country how strongly we're influenced by advertising, and how strongly we're also influenced, of course, by capitalism. When Baba chooses when the best time for a student to start classes is based on their physical capability. But when we see these martial arts schools that are for children, which is something, that we should be thinking about anyway, why is it just for children? They're thinking about trying to maximize the amount of money that they can make. So that's why they're teaching younger children, because they know that, 2 years younger, that's a whole another group of students. That's a whole, all the money that they charge, the fees and all of that. That's a whole 2 more years of students. So just think about that. The thing about the indigenous martial arts and going to people who look like us, going to people who might have a little bit more of a care for us personally, is a part of that. Why are they teaching your child so young if they're not really ready physically to learn a martial art? You can have them around you, and if, of course, if you want your child to be in martial arts, it really should be something that is more holistic. Like, you should be dealing with that martial art as well. So you can have them around you so they can see, what it's about and all of that. But as far as them physically actually taking class, you should be thinking about why a teacher would teach them so young if they're not really physically ready. So that's something to think about, Also, searching for schools. To find a martial arts school near you, check out the internet and ask other people who are learning martial arts or whose children are learning martial arts. A few questions we recommend asking are: do you or your child like the instruction you're receiving at the school? Does your child enjoy going to classes? What is your child's favorite part about the martial arts school? And remember, if you or your child doesn't truly enjoy what you're doing in class, you won't get the maximum benefits, which is why it's so important to do your research and choose the school that fits best. I will say, and I think I told this story sometime in the past few weeks, or maybe it wasn't on the show, but I found the Igbe Ogun, our school, from a recommendation from a sister in the community. We were talking about a few other things, and I was telling her that I was interested in getting my son into martial arts, which I had done martial arts up to that point, a different system of martial arts. But I was telling her I want to get my son, and I think it's about time. He was 8 at the time, and she recommended Baba. She talked about Baba overall more than just the school. And she told me at the time that, she really wished that she could have her son in African martial arts. She thought that Baba was the best instructor, but because of some scheduling issues that she had, she wasn't able to get him to African martial arts class. There was another teacher who she ended up taking her son to that fit her schedule better. So, it is what it is. That was her decision to make. But from the things that she told me about Baba, I said, you know what? Yeah, this is the class I need to check out. And it did fit with my schedule. But I think even if it hadn't, I would have had to try to make some adjustments, because I knew how important it was, the things that I was hearing from her, that, I knew how important it would be to be a part of a school that had what I was looking for as far as Baba as a teacher. So let's see here if there's more. So yeah, you really want to think about the teacher as well, you know, when you're choosing a martial arts school for your child to go to. I don't think that we cover it in here, but we'll talk. There's another part that I'll bring out later. I'll just say that.
All right. After doing your research, make a list of schools or classes in a convenient location for you. Then call those schools, set up an appointment to meet the owners and instructors if the owners don't teach classes themselves. Sometimes you call school. It's owned by Joe Corley, but Joe Corley doesn't teach at any of those schools. In fact, here there's Joe Corley Martial Arts. Joe Corley, long retired, and he has other people that they actually get franchises with him. This cat's franchising they building like you franchise restaurants, franchising martial arts school. If you want to mess with that, hey. But I'm just using that as an example where the owner may not be at the school, or they may not teach the classes themselves. Okay. Sometimes, like I hurt my back, so I wasn't in class, so other instructors were there. But as soon as I get back, I get back. So I went back last week. My wife's in Africa now, so my back can heal. Because beautiful thing of a wife is, particularly when you have to them been somebody that's always made to do all kinds of physical shit, they start thinking that you're indestructible. So I said, man, my back is jacked up. Oh. And she'll call, dear, I need you to help me get the groceries out the truck. Oh, Lord, dear, come on, baby. And she's pregnant, so I can't be like, no. So here I am with a jacked up back. And so my back hurting more. And so now that she's in Africa, I ain't got to do all that. My back is getting better and better. So, hey, miss my wife, but boy, I'm glad she's gone so I can get a break from doing all that stuff. All right, so anyway, it's important to make an appointment instead of stopping in for your first visit. Just dropping in. Don't just drop in. Make an appointment. You want to do that to ensure the owners or main instructor is available to answer your questions. If you just stop by, the owner may not be there, and instructors may be busy with their students. So sometimes a person comes in, I'm working the floor. People come in to watch. I send one of the full instructors over, or if Akinbobala, who's a master instructor, isn't working the floor, I say, Akinbobala, go over there and get with them so he can explain things to them. But really, at this point, the full instructors, we just send another full instructor over to deal with it. During your scheduled visit, if you like the answers you're given, ask to sit in on a class so you can observe how the students are taught. Observe how they are treated and taught, and that may help you narrow down some of the martial arts classes you're evaluating for your child and for yourself. Okay. During your visit, notice if the school is living up to their mission that you may have seen on their website. Like if you come to us, you'll notice that the children are working with the adults.
Wow.
We teach indigenous African martial arts, so in that it's a family-oriented environment where the older teach the younger. So it's not separate where the children are all just here in their class, the adults are here. Children can't see how we work. They don't have the benefit of our instruction and our care over them. No. They come in, they're on the mat working with us. A lot of times they don't get to work with me And that's on purpose until a certain time. So a certain time when I know, okay, this child has matured to a certain level and I touch hands with them, like, oh, right? That's to indicate to them. There's also to teach them, like when I grew up, we go to a cookout for the family. I couldn't just sit with the men, just chilling there. Hey, it was happening, partner. They'd be like, get your ass out of here, boy. Clown me. Joke me away. And if I wouldn't leave, then they'd make me leave, right? So I knew not to do that. I remember when I was about 16, I'm walking, going to the house, I'm carrying stuff in, for my mama. Like, the children always do that, carrying stuff in for your mama, the beans and all that. Men out there grilling, they said, hey, boy, you take that in, come over here. I said, oh, they must want me to do some more work or something. All right. So I go out there. They take a chair. Sit down. What? I said, oh, okay. I sit down. I still can't be throwing in my opinion on stuff, but I can sit with the men. Oh, I'm like, oh, man. Right? I've grown enough to say, okay, I can sit with the brothers now. So I'm sitting with them. Year and a half, 2 years. What you think, Adam? Now I can add my opinion? Right?
Right.
And then by the time I was 19, I had my first child. Now the whole conversation is different now. I learned that there are parts of life that you have to earn. Well, in class, it's the same way with us. If you're against that, I don't care how long that man been training. My baby get trained from him. I'm paying for him to train, not for that person to train who only been training for 15 years. Hey, okay, well, our school may not be for you. Because when we talk about traditional and indigenous, we're traditional and indigenous. So you're getting the old way of the way training is going. Ain't no children, ain't no child or adult gonna be coming to class. What's up, Joe? Hey, what's up, nigga? Nigga, this class is good, nigga. Oh, I had a student do that to me down here. A student who everybody in here knows, and it ain't Nikki. And I can I stepped to him about that.
Whoa.
I said, did he just call me nigga? And he explained his friends and the people he got caring for, when they talk, he's a different person now. They would say, and if he was here, he'll tell you. Nigga, that endearment for him. I said, well, yeah, okay, I got you on that. Some people use that. I don't, but your term of endearment for your peers is different from your term of endearment for those who are teaching you.
Yeah, bro. Right.
If Ade and this boy say nigga, my son Ade, that's cool. He better not come in here and say, hey, what's up, nigga? I'm glad to see you, nigga. I love you, nigga. I'm like, what? I love you too, but you're about to get thrown on this floor real quick. Like, what? So just whatever your tolerance is, if you want, I prefer the children to call the teacher coach. You can go places that do that. It's just not with us, but some places do that. I know I was teaching at this one place that was a gymnastics school, and they kept calling me coach. It was driving me bonkers. So I had to sit the student down and say, do not call me coach. I had to teach the difference. There's a difference between a coach, a teacher, a mentor, and an instructor. Okay. And I am an instructor. And if you want to go higher than that, at the time, I said I am what's called a master instructor. My rank now, people call me a master. I still am hesitant to say that, right? but do not. I'm not. One student say, teacher. Okay, well, you know, I understand, but I'm not a teacher. I'm an instructor. I'm not when I teach, I'm teaching in an academic setting. I have been a teacher. When I'm not a mentor, and I ain't tripping on the word. People trip on the word because it's talking about, you know, men would take and rape them and all that. If you call Gegna, whatever, okay, but I'm not really that. So depending on where you're at, you know, if you have a problem with us saying African martial arts, you want it Manchu arts, you can look for that. You ain't gonna hardly find that. Number one, to say I teach African Manchu arts, African is not an African word. Arts is not an African word. But I got to use Manchu. Come on now.
Right.
Like the student comes to me, I say, you know, do your prayers. I'm a priest as well. So do your prayer. I said, what are you doing? I don't pray to the Orisha in anything but an African tongue. I said, the Orisha are forces of nature, so they don't speak English, Chinese, whatever. It has to be interpreted by, we say by a shoe, which is another force of nature that is the force of nature of interpretation, right? So I said, that is ridiculous. If you're talking to the wind, first of all, you got to be talking to the wind and yourself, because wind, stop blowing. That ain't gonna work. And the wind doesn't care what I speak. A ball of iron, a knife, a sword, it doesn't speak English. It doesn't have a mouth. So if that's the thing you're doing, you're spooking out. But if you want to spook out, there are classes that spook out with you.
Oh, yeah.
We just ain't one. We're very practical. So, you know, I'm just laying the foundation that when you're looking, if you know you're spooky, or you don't call yourself spooky, you know you're elevated. Find somebody that's elevated to train you. That's all.
Oh boy.
All right. So, all right, Ovidigi.
Also, be observant. During your visit, carefully observe everything in the reception area, the classrooms, and the shop, if there is one. It should be clean and organized. The equipment should be in good shape and plentiful to keep the people, excuse me. The equipment should be in good shape and plentiful to keep the people they teach safe. And the staff should have positive attitudes and engage with both clients and visitors.
And they should be clean too.
Right, of course, yes. The equipment in classrooms is there to protect students. So there should be padding on the floor to protect students when they practice falls or get thrown. I would say another part of being observant is one thing that Baba brought to my attention that I didn't know prior to being in his class is, and this is maybe triggering for some people. This is definitely a sensitive topic, but how often, and go and look in the news after this podcast, how often students are sexually abused by martial arts teachers and people associated with martial arts schools. Now, of course, I don't know why the phone rings every time we're having
call from.
Why CIA calling again?
Exactly. And I do not ever use this phone, so I don't know how to turn the volume down. Not like quick. But how often people who abuse children sexually are associated with martial arts schools. That's something that you know, if we're keeping our eyes open, of course, you know, we're not going to necessarily know everything by just going to the school 1 or 2 times. But if we're keeping our eyes open, we're going to see some things that are off. You know, we're going to see some relationships that seem off. So that's definitely something that we need to pay attention to, because in this climate that we're living in now, you know, obviously people who are looking for that are going to gravitate toward places where there are a lot of children. That is another great reason why we should be training, not just sending our children somewhere to learn something, but we, you know, it's not important for us to know how to defend ourselves. As to quote Belay, you know, we were raw in high school, so we don't need to learn martial arts. That's something for our child to learn. We naturally know how to fight already. But if you are placing yourself there as a student like your child is, then you're going to be able to head off most of those types of situations. If you're a parent and you're there all the time and you're participating in class, your child is not going to be a target for something like that, because they're automatically going to know that child has extra protection. They're looking for children who don't have that type of protection. That's one of the main qualifiers that someone like that is looking for. So that let that be part of your observations as well.
You know, I believe I talked about it on here once. Went to a school down here. They were looking for somebody to share in the rent of the place, eventually take over the whole school. So I'm thinking, you know, it's an older instructor or something, he's ready to retire. And I get there as a young dude, and his energy was very standoffish with me. And I'm trying to figure out why. So I said, let me start pulling things out of him. You know, I said, so, you know, I mainly teach adults. How many adults? Well, I have children that I teach to. How many adults, you know, train with you? He said, I don't train with no adults, man. You know, by the time they're adults, they either learned or haven't. That shit sounds so crazy. I said, okay. I said, okay.
People
so
just be saying
stuff. I don't have adults in there, and even the parents, you know, they're a distraction. I don't let them in here. Red flag. I don't let them in here. I said, oh, okay, because, you know, parents, you know, get in the way of the way you train the children. I understand. He said, yeah, you know, they get in the way. I may, you know, be on the ground with their child or whatever, and I got to test, you know, see how they get out. What if somebody was trying to rape them? How would they get out? You know, but I got their legs back and I'm pressed between their legs. That's not the way. See, if I talked about if doing an anti-rape situation, if the person's in your guard, that's the way you talk.
Right.
If I start saying, you know, sister, if I hold your legs up and I press my penis against your vagina like this, you know, I'm on something.
Right.
So the way he was talking, I said, dude, are you fucking the children or something? We can't fuck the babies, man. And if that's the case, you know, I come in here and you fuck the baby, I gotta take your life. You ain't taking my life. Well, hold on.
Whoa.
If somebody said, man, if you rape the baby, they gotta take your life. I'm like, well, shit, well, I'm glad I ain't raping the babies. If I say, you ain't killing me, wait, well, hold on. Wait a minute.
Skip the whole.
So I said, nah, man, you know, I'm not the right fit for here. But I thought about it later, and I talked with my wife. She said, you should have gone in there to protect those students. Well, I didn't make the call. Somebody made the call on his ass, obviously, because he ended up in the news. He had raped, this was before I, you know, walked into that school, but he had raped several students. So I think what he was really going to try to do is get somebody in there, get the money so he can get the hell up out of here, because he knew it was coming down on him. So he was in the news. When back in Chicago, a dude had raped, well, he took one of the girls. I think she was 13 or 14 when he took her. Finally, FBI found his ass. This girl was now an adult. They're bringing him back. but the statute of limitation wasn't up yet. I think it's 7 years or some shit. Well, kidnapping, I think, is longer. I can't remember that. But they're bringing him back to Chicago through the airport. And I see this dude on the news on the phone. I said, the police ain't noticed this dude as they walking through. I said, this probably her father. Sure enough, it was. Her father ain't a martial artist. His anger at this bastard for taking his daughter, raping her for all these years, took her like that was his wife, basically. In his mind, his crazy mind. But the father, he turns with the, back in the day, those who old enough can remember the payphones got the metal cord like that in it, the metal cable. He punches, rips the cable out the phone and hits that dude in the head with the phone, killed him.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have gone to prison. I don't think he was arrested, went to prison. I don't think he should have went to prison. He did a child, but of course, in this society, he attacked the man, but that man was a martial artist who took his daughter from the martial arts school, left the country with her, had her for years, like 7 years or some shit. So be careful out there when you do it. And just so you know, I had to test that after. And I have ripped the phone out of its base on payphone after that to test to see how much force. And the way he turned, it was like it was nothing. You got to use a lot of force to snatch that thing out. And the way he turned, it was that anger, what he did to his
right.
boy. So you all be careful out there when you do choose. That's good on me, Nikki, that you talked about that, because yes, for your child and nowadays for yourself. Take your sisters. Mugs are, they making $40,000 a pop for what do you call it? Abduction. Selling people, so be very careful. That's anywhere. But martial arts schools are high. Martial arts schools and elementary school, academic schools are high in child molestation on children. Keep your eyes open. Okay? And talk to people whose children are there.
Right.
And talk to instructors. Are they even qualified to teach? It's important to know the qualifications of the instructors at a martial arts school. Okay. Ask about their training and find out if they are certified. And I'm going to get on certification in just a second. People who want to teach martial arts may be personal trainers who are certified as martial arts instructors. Or they may have certifications from associations. But don't put too much stock in a piece of paper. Check out those certifying organizations and whoever certifies the instructor. So if an instructor has a certification from the Chi-Town Jiu Jitsu organization, check out the Chi-Town Jiu Jitsu organization. Okay, not them. I know some cats who have certificates that they made for themselves. Yeah. Check out those organizations. I'm like, the hell? Yeah, check out those. Okay.
So one man group.
I've been hit by people. They'll say, this is the whatever Wang Sang Sui Martial Arts Association. And we want to give you a master's certification, for the low price.
Oh.
$800. And we'll take photos, and you can come to every award ceremony and workshop we do. And I'm saying, well, who are you to give me a certification? I don't know who the hell you are. And so-and-so and so-and-so is in it. And so-and-so, one master so-and-so and so-and-so and master so-and-so. I saw they looking on my Facebook, they seeing who. I said, oh, so they got duped. I got to talk to them because they got duped by y'all. It ain't happening to me. No, it's not duping, sir. Get out of here. I'm not paying you. Who the hell are you? And I'm looking at the founders, supposed to be the founders. I don't know none of them folks. I know a lot of high-ranking martial artists. I don't even recognize those names. At least put Idris Elba on there or something. So yourself, and Idris Elba is a martial artist, just so you all know. All right. Who, even though he's a millionaire, he's a celebrity, he fights in MMA fights.
He won his first fight, I remember.
Yeah, he
was in his 40s.
So I got respect for Idris for doing that. Because if I had millions of dollars, my policy of, hey, the master truth, it would say the master truth for you. I'm a millionaire. I ain't fighting no more. All right, no, I'm just tripping. All right, so make sure you check out those associations. When people say they are, or if you could check their certificate number, if the association is real, make sure that that's real. Okay. Many times certification is a grift. Okay. It's a move to make money off those who want to advance in their art too. So that person may have that certification. That certification may not mean shit. That certification would be like getting your degree from Morris Brown, because Morris Brown is not accredited.
They're still not accredited?
Well, probably now, but not back in the day.
Okay. Right, that whole 20-year or whatever period.
When Ear Doctor went, it wasn't accredited. Now I'm just messing with Ear Doctor. I'm just messing with Ear Doctor because he graduated from Morris Brown. But do your due diligence on that. All right. Instructors teaching martial arts for children, well, adults too, but definitely for children, should be certified in first aid and CPR. Now that certification they should have, okay, in case a child is injured during class. But child, adult, so if you should have your certification. Now for us, everybody's about to get certified should have been that, but certified in first aid and CPR in September.
Plus.
Right. All of us are. Okay. So, just bigging up our school, we're doing it. So if you out there, you have a martial arts school, you all should do that too. Franny Prince says certified certificate maker. Exactly. Yeah, I got a certified certificate maker too. It's called a printer.
Right.
Take that bug, print it out.
Get some fancy paper.
I don't give students certificates. Certificates don't mean nothing. In fact, when they become instructors, now they do have to sign a contract. And I won't tell you what's on the contract. That's a secret. But they have to sign a contract, and I sign it too. There's certain things that we're saying that are contracted with each other. Now, that contract, we ain't going to the courts with it. You break that contract, or I break that contract, folk going to pay you a visit. Just to talk with you.
Find out what's going on.
Right, find out exactly. And that's all. Now, if you're interested in having your child participate in competitions like Jiu Jitsu competition, Judo competition, Judo's in the Olympics and stuff, so they're very organized. You need to verify any certifications or licenses that school has to have, and what your child has to have. Your child's going to have certain certifications and things like that to compete. If you want them competing especially at that level, going up to the Olympic level and stuff like that, there are certain certifications you're going to have. Okay, and that school has to have. All right, just know that. So, all right, that's mine on that one.
On class size, when observing a class, check to see how many instructors or helpers there are in the class. Class sizes should be small enough to allow students to learn the martial art and receive help when it is needed. This cannot be achieved if a class is too large. We recommend one instructor per 15 students maximum. when touring a class or martial arts school, see if there are children or teenagers in intermediate or advanced classes that will speak to the ability of the school to teach and retain students. And I'll just say, in my personal experience, like, we're saying one instructor per 15 students maximum, but our classes, it tends to be, you tend to have far more instructors than that, which is a great thing, because when you're, Baba, I'm not sure how many people have actually come to our classes on Zoom or been in person in class, but Baba shows us the technique that we're going to work on. And a lot of times, he may be busy, or there may just be an instructor that's closer to you. So if you're trying to work the technique on the mat, because we separate and go off into, we may just be working with a partner or working with two other students. If there's a qualified instructor near you and there's a little question that you have, then that person can kind of help you get straight on what it is that you're doing. You get a lot more out of class, and you learn a lot more of the technique being able to do that. So you don't want, I mean, the things that we see on Cobra Kai and, these other, like, where it's like 30 people, 40, 50 people in there doing all the whatever stuff that they do, and it's one instructor in the front. Like, that's not really how it should be when you're going to a school and a class for your child.
When I first came here, it was hard. I was teaching at this one place. When I walked in, they said, we have a few students, for you to train. I said, okay, I'm thinking 15, 20. I walked in there with 300 students.
Wow.
I said, oh my God. So I had them, just learning foundational, how to move, switch feet, and how to do the steps and how to do the rolls. Luckily, when I first came here, I started first off teaching adults. So I had a couple of older students that I brought in, but they have been training. I probably was teaching the adults for 3 months before I started, or 6 months before I started teaching the children. So they knew they could help me with Sabu. They could help me with how they step, but that's about it. And with those children, it was months before I could teach a technique. Number one, I had to do it in this group come up. This group, now y'all go back, this group come up. It was terrible. The place loved me, and I love those students, but I did not love the way we taught because it was just too many. And then after a couple of years of doing that, several of the adults became assistant instructors. They could really help me more. So I had to pay them to come in. Sometimes I'd be like, how much is work paying you? You pay me $60 a week. So I pay you $60 just to come in today. I had to do that kind of stuff just to teach those students. And then I said, shit, boy, I can't. Shit. Years later, after finally making my first full instructors, I said, hey, y'all can have all those children. Make all the money they're giving you. I'm not doing that no more because goddamn, that stressed me. I came down here with a nice afro. No, I had locks. Well, first I had an afro, then I had locks. My shit you see now is gray, bald spot, and my locks were black, beautiful. They wouldn't turn brown and they wouldn't fall. They would be out like the sun, the black sun. Yeah, teaching like that, my shit just went away, right? Like, hell no, So make sure when you go to a school, it's not too many students to an instructor because that instructor is stressed out and may not be there for long, either leaving or stroking out or heart attacking out. You may be gone, okay?
And the students aren't able to learn as much.
They're not. I went to one place. He had like 3 black belts. In fact, one of my students was dating one of the black belts. That's how we went to his promotion ceremony. And at the promotion ceremony, the head instructor, he had a lot of students, about 100 and something testing. 3 instructors, that includes him, it's not enough. Not enough. So a parent sat in the instructor's office. He walked, saw him. The fuck you doing? Get the fuck out of my office. Goddamn motherfucker, I catch you in this office, gotta fuck you up. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? But he was stressed out from all those students. Now, that's no excuse to act that way, because I never acted that way when I had all those students. But hey, he mentally couldn't take that. He was stressed out.
That's a money thing too, though,
Right. Now, to be honest, I went to the promotion to whoop his ass. Because my student had gone to pick up her boyfriend at the time, and he found she's a martial artist, the instructor. So they said, let's spar. Like, what? He the master of the school. Like, what? My student's an assistant instructor. And they sparred, and she still whooped his ass. So now he wanted to get more serious. He was, but she said, nah, she walked away. But my whole point was, it didn't matter. She whooped his ass that he wanted. Why is he trying to spar with my student?
Right.
Who's an assistant instructor, not even a full instructor, and a woman, he a big muscular man, will let me go and see if he'll spar with me. So I went to the school for that reason. But my student begged me not to. I was going to clown him in front of all his students and beat the hell out of him. But my student begged me not to. And after I saw how nuts he was, how I don't want to say that, how stressed out, jacked up, I said, oh, I see why he's like he is, And he's like, Sabu Nims, come out and help me. Sabu Nims is Korean for master. Sabu Nims, oh, you come out and help me. Kwaja Nims, that's even a higher man, I guess, because he must have thought he insulted me because I ain't moved. I'm like, I'm not Sabu Nim, Kwaja Nim. I don't do Asian martial arts, so I don't know what this Korean thing is. Of course, I knew the language, but I wasn't going to answer it. I wasn't going to stand up there with him anyway. Kwaja Nims? He's looking at me and said, I ain't moved. So after, he said, Master, I was calling you up. I said, you said Kwaja Nim and Sabu Nim. I think you talking to your people that were that or something. I don't know. And I said, but I did notice, the students were upsetting you because, one student that spit on another student, that's jacked up. So you either don't promote them or you make them do push-ups, I was saying something. He had him stand up, the student that spit on the other student, and then had all the ones who were black belts kick the student in the stomach. Kick him in his stomach. He had to stand there and get kicked in the stomach. He was jacked up. So now he off on the side. Oh, this a boy. He's about 13, 14. He ain't a man. First of all, if a man spit on another student, he just get the hell out of my class. But this a boy. He just got kicked. Oh my God, it was bad. And I couldn't see myself young like my father wouldn't have done it. But no instructor telling me just kick this person in their ribs and liver and all that, and I'm doing that. I couldn't.
Right, you're doing it. That's the thing.
Right. That. So I was like, damn. And even when he said black belts, even the adult who was, and I think this is what broke them up really. The sister's boyfriend kicked the boy in the stomach too. He a grown man, and the parent of that child is right there. I'm like, no, my son was wrong, but spitting in the other person's face. I make him apologize. I'd be like, I'm taking you out of this school, or for a month or so, or whatever, some kind of punishment, but not that, not let him get beat down like that. So, observe the schools, what they do. When you're touring it, it's important. Ask those questions. All right. Yeah. Is it on you or me?
It's on you.
All right. School organization. I was hoping it's on you because you're starting to doze. So back to old school on me, Nikki. All right. All right. When touring the school, ask if the student has a creed they teach their students. They teach their students to abide by and teach their students to memorize. Okay. Read it to make sure it aligns with your family's values and to ensure you feel comfortable allowing your children to learn from the school. Okay. The school should have a creed. What does it go by? Like me, I had to learn a creed when I was in school, and I teach that same creed to this day to students. The way I've been doing it a long time, I'll be correcting students the way they stand and stuff while saying the creed. Right? I'm doing something else while saying the creed because I've been saying that doggone creed since I was 4 years old. It's just locked in my head. And if I miss one word, you'll see me laughing. Because one word messed up is you messed up. Okay. And so now everybody gonna clown you in class and stuff. We didn't get punished for messing up the creed. We just got clowned, joked on, stuff like that. Right? Except on the test. On the test we had push-ups. We messed up the creed. So our creed goes, and you listen to the creed to see does it fit you? Does it fit what you believe? Our creed is, I'll say 1, you say 2 on me, Nikki. I'll say 3, you say 4. Okay. I will train my mind, heart, and body for a firm and unshaken spirit. That's 1.
I will observe rules of courtesy, respect my fellow brothers and sisters, and refrain from violence.
Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding are power, and with them I can accomplish what I will.
Through
all my life.
All my life, through the true discipline of African martial arts, I will seek to observe. I will seek to. Oh my goodness! I will seek to walk the straight and righteous warrior's path of Igbe Ogun.
She's gonna get clowned.
That is terrible. And I mean, I know the creed is weird doing it right here, but me and my son memorized the creed long ago through writing it each night before we went to bed. We would write it out so that we memorized it. So
why not learn? Say, Ominiki slipping. So I will train my mind, heart, and body for a firm and unshakable spirit. I will observe rules of courtesy, respect my fellow brothers and sisters, and refrain from violence. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding are power, and with them I can accomplish what I will. All my life, through the true discipline of African martial arts, I will seek to walk the straight and righteous warrior's path of Egbe Ogun. Okay. And then we, at the end, give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Cross fist. Ogun, 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 Ogun Moye. So Ogun is the spirit of iron and war within you. Then we say Ogunye, Ogun lives. Moye, so I live. Ogun Awo, we are Ogun. We are Ogun. Okay, Ogunye Moye, Ogun Awo. All right, so that's our creed. Wait a minute. Now we got rid of the CIA poll. Now this is Nude HD Best Adult Dating Site. Get your ass out of here.
That's always popping, or something like that is always popping up in the comments.
And if you got to call that guy to get a date, you got to get out there. You got to get out there. Do a little better than that. Your game is whack. Somebody said Kyokushin karate has a great focus on conditioning. I guess conditioning with hard hits. Yes, Kyokushin karate definitely does. All right.
So does Igbe Ogun.
Huh?
Yeah, I said so does Igbe Ogun.
Yes. Although we don't hit that hard because we're gentle lambs. So it's not that bad, you know. All right. So when you tour the school, make sure they have a creed. Also find out when classes are available to see if they fit into your schedule. Monique dealt with that earlier. Some classes may be held in the evening, or some may be available after school, you know, for the child. Hold on, let me get rid of this. It was okay. If you feel the school is worth it, you may want to adjust your schedule if you can. Okay.
Yeah, well.
Lastly, ask how often you or your child would be expected to train each week. For real young beginners, we start at 6. They may only need to attend class once a week. But as they progress, they may need to attend class 2 or 3 times a week to receive proper training. We always say, really, especially for adults, minimum 2 weeks. That's why we do 2 times a week. Instructors, we had instructors class 2 before COVID, so we were 3 times a week. Saturdays for instructors, and then Sundays and Mondays for everybody. But we'll probably, all right, peace, Franny French. She said she got to hop off. Thanks for another great word class. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Franny French. We try 3 times a week, okay? So when we have instructors, but we at minimum 2 times a week if you can, you know. But if only, you can only make once, do that once and then train at home on your own as well. Okay. All right.
I just wanted to add on to that. This is actually something. Yes, of course, the creed, like Baba says, everything that Baba says, of course, here. But Baba does this very special thing that everyone may not be aware of if they haven't been in our class. But if we have someone new come into class, then he does something that I'll say he very heavily discusses the philosophy of African martial arts in a very I don't know if I would call it aggressive, though it is aggressive. But he makes sure that person does not leave not knowing what we are about in our class and our school. Just so that they can make sure that this is really the place for them. You know, that Igbe Ogun is really the art that they want to learn, because it's not just about the techniques and the fundamentals that you learn in a martial arts class, but it's also about, you know, the people who are there and what our real beliefs are as far as our community goes. So, you know, that's something that you want to be making sure that you're observing when you go to martial arts classes as well, to make sure that that is the place for you. I always say, and Baba talked about this earlier, the way that they treat your children. The first thing that let me know, besides the recommendation I got, the high recommendation I got, was when I brought my son to the school, I saw how he was treated. I saw the level of patience that the person had that was training with him. I saw their level of patience. I saw, you know, I just saw the way that this person worked with my son. And that was the second thing that had me, you know, just kind of locked me into like, okay, we're going to come here and see if this is the class for us. The third thing, we started in September. The third thing that let me know, okay, these are my people here, is that year, Christmas fell on either a Sunday or a Monday, whatever day it was, and we had class. I was like, okay, these are my folks right here. And after that, I knew, even though I still at that point wasn't training, I knew that this was where we would be coming from now on. So it took a few months for me to get there, as far as that, even though we were coming to class regularly, but when it was different earmarks that let me know, okay, this is the place for us. So, you want to be making sure that you're paying attention so that you know that this is the place for you, because it's not just about the whatever the art is, because we, like I said, when we deal with these certain arts, we have we've developed this reverence for these certain different things, and so we want to be associated with them, but that may not be exactly where you need to be. Right. So just think about that.
Absolutely.
Also, as far as equipment costs, some schools include the cost of the uniform and maybe safety equipment such as headgear, wrist and leg pads, or training weapons such as padded sticks or rubber knives with the membership fees. If you need to purchase a uniform for your child, they can cost anywhere from $20 to $100, depending on the size, the type you need, and where it is purchased. Typically, protective gear is not usually required until a child advances in training and begins applying the basics of what they have learned in sparring. This may include headgear, gloves, protective vests, and vary depending on the school and martial arts style taught.
Yeah, so with us, we do a T-shirt. I have on our T-shirt now. Egg Bill Goon Wrestling. That's our logo. AMA is African Martial Arts. That's the in Chim Chim
Ndinkra
symbol, which means adaptability, which is what we have to be, adaptable in survival, combat, what have you, in life. Okay.
Yeah, boom.
So we have the T-shirt. We ask that you wear dark blue pants or what have you. But that's pretty much it. And sometimes, students come in and they blue pants got paint on it. They can't wear it. We ain't tripping on that.
Right.
My shirt got torn up in class. Okay, well, and they wearing a white T-shirt. It's okay. Just when we order another, we get you a new shirt. That's all. So that's how we deal with it. But some places, you got to have that uniform on.
Yeah, boom.
You ain't playing about you're not coming to class if you don't have a uniform. So some places, are like that, but we're not, and it's because of the culture of the school.
And some of it could be money. I always got to think about that.
Yeah, some of money, like you got to buy a whole new damn $100 uniform then.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, finally, in conclusion, learning martial arts has many physical and mental health benefits for adults and children of all ages. The discipline, focus, and control you will learn in classes can be applied to many aspects of your lives. And of course, the self-defense techniques you learn and everything can keep you and your loved ones and your community safe.
Yeah, boom.
So thank you all for another great class and time with you all. Thank you, Ominiki.
And thank you, Baba. Thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you so much. And we will see you all next week. Next week, hopefully, Billy will be back. He had to travel again. So hopefully he'll be back next week. And then the week after, we'll be in Virginia. I think we're going to try to shoot there. So depending on when, I got to teach a workshop in Virginia. Well, me and Billy have to teach it. But if it's after class, we'll join you in class. And we'll try to figure out how to do class out there. I don't know where they're going to be having me teach at. So we'll see what the sound and everything is like. So we'll be joining you there. One way or the other, we'll be joining you there. All right. So we will see you all next week. Stay black or whatever it is that you are. Love y'all. Be safe. Peace.
Love y'all, family. Peace.